All right, welcome back in. What's Right with Nick Wright. Some breaking news from literally just a couple minutes ago. Not shocking. Doc Rivers fired. So, Budenholzer fired, Monty Williams fired, Doc Rivers fired. Man, being an NBA head coach, not great job security. Great money, not great job security. This likely comes as a shock to no one. And man, this is one of my favorite things about sports, not Doc being fired, but also one of the craziest things about sports. Midway through the fourth quarter of Game 6, Jason Tatum was 1 for 14. The Celtics were trailing, and Philly was poised to be a massive favorite in round 3 against Miami, have home court advantage against whomever comes out of the West, Denver or the Lakers, make their first conference finals since Iverson in 01, Embiid validate the MVP, Harden really shed some of the playoff choker stuff because he was so great in games 1 and 4. All of that, if the Sixers could close Game 6, they had 3 possessions up to midway through the fourth before Tatum had made a single 3 to get hot. They blew those possessions. And by the way, if Philly wins that, it's not just what it means for Philly. It's also Boston probably has a really... The news today is probably Missoula's been fired. And there's a lot of Jaylen Brown speculation. Instead, and a lot of conversation about Tatum, who had been bad in the first quarter of Game 4, 5, first 3 quarters of Game 6. A lot of talk. Instead, Tatum makes a few huge shots. Philly can get nothing going. They lose. They then have an all-time meltdown in the third quarter of Game 7. Tatum breaks Steph's Game 7 record. We went 76 years of the NBA with nobody scoring 50 in a Game 7. It's happened twice in 14 days. Steph's record stood for 2 weeks. And now Doc's fired. Harden has a 3 for 11 total afraid, embarrassing no-show. Embiid not only doesn't validate the MVP, but goes in the other direction. Has the worst playoff game of his life in Game 7, particularly when you include the fact that they hunted him defensively. And now Doc's fired, and who the hell knows? And Boston is a massive favorite to go to their second straight finals. Man. Those margins, man. So, I happen to like Miami in this series. I think Jimmy in this series is more reliable than Tatum. And you can't even be like, well, yeah, maybe he's more reliable, but Tatum's peaks. I mean, Jimmy had 56 in a playoff game a few weeks ago. Jimmy's peaks are as high as anybody's this postseason. To me, he's more consistent than Tatum is, and he's had some time to get that ankle right. But the real reason I like Miami in this series is because the Spoelstra-Mazzulla mismatch, that might be Coach 1 versus Coach 30. I mean, that is as big of a coaching mismatch as you will ever see in a conference finals, so I like Miami.
Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show, and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.